So this morning I bring you an episode of Keto on Fox and Friends with Dr. Oz. They picked the perfect person to represent Keto, didn't they? Not. And why is that? Well, because about 6 or 7 months ago is when Dr. Oz finally got on board with Keto and seen that it was a pretty decent healing diet that turns into a way of life. And the simple fact is, he's a bandwagon jumper. He's always been a bandwagon jumper. If you look like a year ago, he was bashing the keto diet, talking about how hurtful it can be and how detrimental to your health it can be. And now all of a sudden he's super supportive of it. But now he changes his attitude whenever he goes on Fox and Friends. And there's some misinformation here, and I'll break it down as we go.
Fuel injector on the right side, the heart's beating like a bag of worms.
I'm not sure what a bag of worms, I'm not sure how that represents a beating heart, you know, a heart that's beating too fast. I don't understand that. So anyway.
And the problem with that is the blood accumulates, forms clots, and atrial fibrillation, therefore 5 times increases the chance of you having a stroke.
Oh my goodness.
So this clot in the heart, it throws it.
I don't think anybody knew about that.
Do you notice how all of a sudden the drama comes out? Somebody was sent to drama school. Look at this guy.
So many people have talked about the keto diet. If you're unfamiliar with it, we've got a chart that shows you the keto diet is about 20% protein, fish, grass-fed beef, beans, legumes.
The last I checked, legumes is not part of the protein sources on keto, and grass-fed sources are not the only sources that you should be having. This is another tactic to divert people that are doing it a more conventional way instead of a grass-fed way to quit or be dogmatic or feel like they're not doing something correctly.
75% healthy fats like avocados, coconut, stuff like that, and 5% carbs. It really limits the number of carbs.
They're talking about limiting something that your body makes on its own. Your body absolutely makes just enough glucose, which glucose is carbohydrates anyway, or carbohydrates are glucose, I should say. They're a chain of sugar. Your body makes just enough sugar to keep its organs healthy and keep everything functioning exactly as it should. It's called GNG. Gluconeogenesis is a demand-driven process. Some people could be more metabolically adverse in having issues and stuff like that, and extra sources of protein and stuff like that may increase sugar levels a little bit, but it's never to the point where it's harmful or something of that nature. Most people that heal their metabolic conditions have no response from extra protein and stuff like that. So to say that we need carbs or it's limiting on carbs is it's a falsity in itself, because it's limiting in something that we don't really even need. Our body makes just enough of it to keep it healthy and active and functioning properly. So what is the definition of lacking carbs or having essential carbs or not having certain carbs? It's in the eye of the beholder. That's subjective to the person that wants the certain type of carbs, because there's no essential carbohydrate. So what he's talking about right now with this headache is called the keto flu. And you just basically cut carbs and sugar to a healthy amount, a low glycemic amount, and your body starts flushing potassium, sodium, things of this nature, and that's what brings this lethargy, this almost nauseous feeling sometimes, the irritability and stuff like that he's talking about, the headache. It's a transition phase, and there's a lot of people that can avoid it just by staying up on their electrolytes and their minerals, making a drink called Ketorade, or there's different types of electrolyte supplements out there that are keto friendly, that don't have sugar and stuff in them, and staying up on that in the beginning when you first start, because you know you're going to start flushing everything because you don't have sugar in your diet and carbs in your diet that helps retain water, that helps retain electrolytes and stuff like that. And when you cut all that stuff out so you can get healthier and heal your conditions, you're going to lose some electrolytes in the process, and that's what brings on the headache. And it's very avoidable if you do it correctly. But if you're lacking knowledge, or you're following somebody like Dr. Oz, you're probably not going to get the information that you need to be successful, and you're going to have those headaches and stuff. But you'll still transition anyway, as long as you just keep it keto.
Dr. Oz, you and I have talked about this. I was on the keto diet for a while, and I had a headache that would not ever go away. And then I wound up switching out of it.
Well, there are a lot of folks who have a little bit of a malaise around it. You get very irritable. People are not...
What are you talking about?
You get it's not even hangry. You just can't deal with low insulin, low sugar levels. Your body needs more sugar. Part of the reason we
Again, misinformation. Your body does not need more sugar. Your body does not need more insulin secretion. It doesn't need any of that stuff. This is coming from a bandwagon jumper doctor that has been notorious for knowing this from the beginning of time. Just take credit with what you get information from, and this guy is not the one that I would be getting information from.
go for comfort food, it makes us feel good.
Yeah.
When you have zero of that stuff, you feel the opposite of good. And then the question becomes, well, is it okay long term? And because it's out there in such a big way, some people look at it. This is fascinating because it begs the issue why. It's not just about being in a bad mood. What is it about super low carb diets that might be dangerous? And here's the deal. When you get rid of all your carbs, you often get rid of some of the produce. Well, produce is really important for your gut. It feeds the right bacteria. It actually creates a calmness in your intestines, reduces inflammation. When you replace the carbs with fatty foods, the lard, butter, right, the unhealthy fats.
Here they talk about certain fats being unhealthy, and they're completely wrong. Saturated fats are the most stable fat to cook with that doesn't oxidize. It's got a longer shelf life, and just in general, it's not nowhere near as inflammatory as the other oils when you cook at them. Even good oils like olive oil and avocado oil, which should be used for mixing dressings and things like that, not so much cooking with, because those oils break down very easily under heat, where saturated fat doesn't. So we're talking ghee, tallow, lard, things like that. These are very stable under heat, and these are things that should be used to cook with. So they're talking bad about it and being dogmatic in this aspect because they're following bad advice. And when you have a shill doctor on board, or you're talking to people that are obviously wanting to be dramatic in their views, this is what you get. You get bad information.
Like a lot of ghee, right? G-H-E-E. Then you end up with pro-inflammatory hormones and conditions. So inflammation leads to irregular heartbeats because it irritates the heart muscle. The muscle itself becomes swollen.
So what diet should we go for?
I actually think the diet that your colleague in Arm, Steve, and I have talked about is the best one. It's called the Pegan diet. If it's the paleo, marries the vegan diet. So that means, you can be around other people because the biggest problem... You get to eat some meat.
So I'm not going to be dogmatic and talk bad about the Pegan diet because I'm honestly tell you right now, I don't do very well with vegetables. So fiber really inflames my digestive tract. And the way Dr. Oz is talking about these oils and these diets and other types of things being pro-inflammatory, that's not the case at all. I mean, and if you've done keto or carnivore, or you're even interested in it, follow some people that do it. Don't follow people like him that are just all over the place. I mean, the guy is obviously he bounces around. He jumps from diet to diet and trend to trend and whatever's fancy and flashy at the time. That's how he gets himself to grow. I mean, he's not a very good doctor, honestly. And I beg to differ when it comes to this. This is going to be my ending comments on this video because you'll see here he's going to throw in Weight Watchers there, and Weight Watchers is really trying to cut down keto right now because they've lost 80% of their stock value since last July. Oprah's on them because she owns 10% of the company, and they're falling apart right now. They look silly, and the CEO contributes that to the keto diet. So if it's something as simple as the keto diet, making something or a company such as Weight Watchers, a massive company that's supposed to be the #1 rated diet, fail, that should speak for itself. Is keto not doing the right thing? Are people not healing on it? Is that why Weight Watchers is failing? I would think that would be the reason why. Watch the rest of this video, and I hope you guys gain some kind of knowledge from what to stay away from, what bad information sounds like, and exactly what a bandwagon jumper doctor mimics Dr. Oz. That's what he is.
You can replace 1 of the 3 servings of vegetables with some meat so you can be sociable. Because the biggest problem with a good diet is you get lonely because your friends are out there having a great time.
Okay, I wanted to insert something real quick. Even though keto is a lifestyle, people do make choices sometimes that have normal food and they just go right back to eating keto, and it's very attainable. They can do it without problems at all. Yes, you might feel like you've got a little bit of a headache or something the next day because of the sugar rush, but that's normal. It goes away. Just go back to keto. I mean, that's no problem at all. There are other people that don't even make those choices, but let's say you wanted to stay strict keto. There's plenty of places that have vegetables and steaks and things like that. It's not a obstruction to your normal life at all. It doesn't change the way you live your normal life at all. And it's just a mindset that needs to change before anything, because anywhere that you go, you can pretty much find keto food. So you're not going to mess up your social event. You're not going to mess up your social life in general. And it's not anything foreign. It's very easy to do. If you just want to change your health, you can find these foods anywhere you go. It's not hard. So whatever he's talking about here is complete nonsense. Thank you, guys.
You can't. But the other thing is, that's much more closely mimics the Mediterranean diet. The diet that had the longest track record, thousands of years, people eating food that's relatively balanced.
Isn't this part funny? Oprah is a friend of yours, Dr. Oz. What's your agenda?
Some vegetables. You can have healthy fats, the olive oils of the world. You can have some meat, but not too much, the Greek salads. And people just tend to live a long time with these kinds of diets.
Don't get Weight Watchers. Oprah is a friend of yours. You want to?
I actually love Weight Watchers, and I really do love what they're doing with WW, making it healthy and more about your broader life. But fundamentally, you have to find a diet that is balanced, because your body will tell if you can't.
You mean fair and balanced?
Yes, fair and balanced.
Okay.
Such a good brand idea.
Thank you very much.